This is Cherry Hinton, a charming, historical village located just to the southeast of Cambridge. In recent times, it's become a hugely desirable residential area. So in this video, if you're looking to move in and around Cambridge, Tony is going to explain just why Cherry Hinton is a place people have become so attracted to. He's going to give us the lowdown on schools, family-friendly spots, job opportunities, house prices, new developments, transport links, shops and community, size of homes, green spaces, parking, and key things to look out for when considering a move to Cherry Hinton. So let's catch up with Tony and first find out about the schools in this area.
There are quite a few schools in Cherry Hinton. You've got the Spinney, which is it's an outstanding primary school. You've got the Netherhall, you've got Queen Edith's. It's just a popular area. You've got St Bede's further down there, off Cherry Hinton Road, depending which way you come in. Good schooling. And that's another reason why it's a go-to place for families.
Being as there are so many schools, does this bode well for family-friendly spots?
Family-friendly. I mean, the best thing about Cherry Hinton, you've got the Cherry Hinton Hall, and that's a beautiful park. It's where the folk festival is held. That's a bit of a draw. A lot of people will go to Cherry Hinton Hall, families, walks. Just a very nice place. Wherever you live in Cambridge, people will come to Cherry Hinton Hall.
And what of job opportunities in and around Cherry Hinton?
You've got all the big employers. You've got Arm. We're going to go up here in a moment. We're going to pass Arm. And you've got the Addenbrooke sites. You've got Royal Papworth. And prices are quite strong.
With strong prices, does that mean Cherry Hinton is an expensive area to live within Cambridge?
Better value here than in central Cambridge. Yeah, we all know that the closer you get into central Cambridge, the more expensive it's going to be. Cherry Hinton is it good value? Look, it depends where you come from, doesn't it? Because anything around Cambridge is relatively expensive. Typically, we've sold 3-bedroom properties, starter homes, anywhere up to £500,000 in Cherry Hinton. But they're 3-bedroom with maybe parking and a garden. But they won't be huge family homes, but they're good starter homes and very competitive. I mean, I can tell you now, there was one particular Saturday. I think we did 28 viewings on one property, not far from where we are now. I promised myself I'm never going to do 28 viewings ever again. 28 viewings, ridiculous. And then of course the offers and the bidding started thereafter.
So being popular for professionals and families, is Cherry Hinton a place where supply is meeting demand?
It's a CB1 postcode. Lots of development over the last 40 years. All this development on the right here all took place in the last 40 years. Some of it may be a little bit older than that. It's just full of houses, flats. It's a popular place to be because of its proximity to central Cambridge.
And what of transport links? Is this an area where you can be car free?
There's regular buses. I would say that a lot of people will have cars maybe in Cherry Hinton. If you're living in the city, maybe you could be car free. I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to be car free. Here it's a little bit easier for if you have got cars. There's a good public transport network here in Cherry Hinton. I think a lot of people here, if I'm honest with you, they do have cars.
With such a demand on property within Cherry Hinton, are there any downsides to living here?
I would say it's quite a heavily populated area now, mainly because of all the development. The only criticism I would say that I've heard people tell me, there's a big rental scene as well here in Cherry Hinton. There is in Cambridge. And a lot of people said they're moving out of Cherry Hinton into maybe the smaller villages because they don't know their neighbours anymore. And I do understand and get that. So there were lots of landlords buy properties in the last 20, 30 years, especially in that new development bit that we talked about when we came in. And of course, those people come and go.
With such demand, does Cherry Hinton have a lot going on for its residents?
Hair and beauty salon there, some oriental supermarkets, the leisure centre, library. This is all new development here. These were old local authority buildings, apartments, houses, all demolished in the last 2 years and been rebuilt. You can see here, you've got Chinese takeaway, pharmacy, Morrison's Daily, that was small daily there, Domino's, Cambridge Building Society, a charity shop, a Tesco's. We've got an Indian restaurant and another Chinese here, and another Oriental supermarket. That's on top of what's already there. You've got the Dorringtons, you've got the barber shop, and further still you've got another pharmacy up here on the right hand side, another hair salon, and keep going, another hair salon. So I think there's enough to be going on for people who live here. But let's face it, you're not going to do your weekly shop in a Tesco Express, but it's convenient. Of course, they open longer hours. I think 11 p.m. Monday to Sunday. You can't really argue with that, can you? Cherry Hinton Hub. This has just been refurbished. This is all the whole frontage. It's all been completely rebuilt, and it's had the internals done as well. This has all been redone. Of course, you've got the big superstore, the Tesco's behind us, which is actually classed as full-born Tesco's. I would argue it's Cherry Hinton, but it's called full-born Tesco's. It's right on the boundary.
With the space between these Cambridge villages becoming smaller and smaller, does this mean a reduced access to green spaces?
Most houses are going to have some sort of garden, certainly a bigger garden than you'd get in the city. If you're coming from closer to the city, well, you could have a postage stamp of a garden. So anything's better than a postage stamp. Some do. The ones that are backing on to the Cherry Hinton Hall, they will have some views from the first floor, not from the ground floor, probably blocked by fencing. So some of them do have some back onto the little stream as well that runs through around the Cherry Hinton Hall as well. So there are some that will have nice countryside views, but it is quite built up.
With such a great deal of new development happening around Cherry Hinton, does this mean that there's a lot more off-road parking?
They'll have off-street parking, but not necessarily all have own driveways with garages, but some do, depending on what development you're on. Certainly the newer development up around here behind us, opposite the Cherry Hinton, the full-born Tesco's, they will have driveways and parking. A lot of those.
So with all these aspects covered, how would a professional estate agent like Tony assess Cherry Hinton if he were a potential buyer?
Think about schooling. Think about, if you are a family, which school is going to be most important to you. Make sure you're in that right catchment for that school, and of course proximity to work. Most people that will move in this area, the chances are they are going to work hopefully locally. Some will commute to London. Some will leave their car at home and probably not walk to the station, but certainly would possibly cycle to the station and get on the train to London. That's quite an easy one from here. So I think that's what most people are looking at is schooling and work.
But Cherry Hinton isn't the only place in high demand in Cambridge, and if you click on the video on your screen now, you'll find out why Newnham is considered the most desirable area in all of Cambridge.